How to buy income property? I mean, this is a really great question because most people don't realize it's a very different process than buying your primary residence. You see, a home, that's designed to give you comfort, to give you a lifestyle. So you're buying that property for an entirely different reason. An income property, that's there to provide comfort to your financial statement and potentially empower you to buy a better home for your lifestyle. And so I'll walk you through the 6 steps to buying an income property the right way. You ready? Let's go. So I'm going to quickly cover why you are on the right track for even asking that question in the first place. And then I'm going to walk you through the 6 steps to buy an income property the right way, in a way that you can repeat this process and do it over and over and over again as many times as you want to create that real estate wealth for you. And if you'd like some help buying an income property, if you still need more help after I cover what I'm about to cover, then at the end, I'll go ahead and I'll show you how to get that help. So I said the fact that you are even asking this question says you're on the right path, because income property, it's a great way to produce cash flow for yourself. It's a great way to produce wealth. I mean, real estate overall has produced more wealth for more people than anything else, than any other asset class out there. And don't let anybody tell you different, because that's a fact. So just by asking the question tells me you're rather intelligent. This is a smart move for you to even take this next step. Nevertheless, this process and investing in real estate does involve some risk. So therefore, it is very important for you to learn how to buy an income property so you can maximize your income and minimize your risk, minimize those expenses, so you have a really nice favorable outcome and all of your expectations are met. So I broke this process down for you in 6 easy steps to follow. First thing is to decide whether investing directly in real estate is going to be a good fit for you. I mean, certainly the return is going to be there, the income is going to be there, the long-term wealth creation, that's all going to be there too, but there might be some labor commitments or some time commitments involved that you might not be willing to do. You might not be willing to make that trade for your time for those types of returns. And so you could pursue a different way to invest in real estate that doesn't require that, like maybe through a REIT or an ETF, or maybe through a fund of some sort. But on the positive note, you might not want to discount becoming an actual property owner just yet, because like I said, the income, the returns, the appreciation is all there, and then your ability to use leverage can multiply your returns to create some really unmatched returns anywhere else in the marketplace. And with that said, here are the considerations. There's the time commitment. Even if you decide to hire a property manager to take care of all of the, the day-to-day maintenance and management of the property, there still could be some situations where your time is needed. You might have to make the big calls. You might have to analyze the reports with your CPA. You may have to fire the property manager to hire a new one. The second thing to consider is liquidity, because once you've purchased a piece of real estate, your funds or the money that you have invested kind of locked in there for a minute. And if the situation comes about where you need to pull money out, where you need to sell that property and you want to get fair market value for that property, it might take a minute for it to sell. And then the third thing to consider is the capital requirements. When purchasing the property, even if you are going to use leverage, you're going to use a bank's money to purchase the property, you're going to need 20% down. And depending on what part of the country you live in, what market you live in, that could be a substantial amount. There's also going to be the need for maintenance and repairs. There are going to be some closing costs when you close on the property. And you're going to want to have about 6 months of reserves or so just for incidentals, for emergencies. And the fourth thing would be the unpredictable nature of real estate. They can be pretty reliable in producing a monthly income, but it's not 100%. There are scenarios where that property may go vacant. It may go vacant for months at a time. There might be some major repairs that come around that you really don't want to be bothered with. Here's the point. If you're okay with these 4 drawbacks, and I use the word drawbacks pretty loosely, if you're okay with those, then investing directly in real estate might be a great fit for you. Otherwise, you might want to consider something like a REIT or being a passive partner with another real estate investor. So 2, assemble your team. And there are 3 primary ways that you can go about this. The first way is you can go about it yourself. You can go in being a one-man army, a one-man investor. You can wear all of the hats and you can take care of everything. And if that sounds like it's going to be your situation, I went together and I put a training together for you just on that, on how to get started. And you can find that at mattsfreetraining.com. You can go ahead and just type that into your browser when we're all done, or you know what, I'll put the link down below in the description just for your convenience, so you can click it then when you're all done. The second way you can go about this is the traditional route. You can just go out and find yourself a real estate agent and kind of let them do all the work, at least the scouting and the investigating and helping you try to find that actual rental property. You can do that, and then you'll go ahead and you'll find yourself a lender, and then your lender and your real estate agent yourself, you'll work together to close that deal. And then once you've got the deal, you can go out and hire your property manager, and they can go ahead and they'll take over the property for you. So there's very little that you'll need to do. I mean, you'll be the boss, you'll be calling the shots, but you can delegate all of that stuff the very traditional way. Now, there may be a scenario, depending on what type of property you purchase and what type of condition it is in, there may be the need for you also to hire a contractor. Or the third way, and this is how most busy professionals go about it, people that don't really have the desire to do all the heavy lifting or don't really have the know-how or a real interest in learning how, is they'll go through a turnkey service. And this is where you can go and purchase a property that's already been found for you, vetted for you, it's already been rehabbed for you, there's likely already a tenant in place, there's already property management in place. So that's a very popular route these days for people that just don't want to get their hands dirty. And if you like the idea of that, it might make sense for you to actually get on the phone with Mercedes. You can download her free investor package. It's totally free. You can get that at cashflowsavvy.com. Then after you download that document, that little package there, it's got pictures and colors and numbers. It's really great. You'll enjoy it. And after you download that, you can go ahead and pick a time to hop on the phone with Mercedes and to discuss what that future might look like for you in participating in a turnkey investment. You can brainstorm some ideas, and she's really creative. She's great with that stuff, and if you need it, she can even arrange the financing for you too. And that little journey begins at cashflowsavvy.com. Again, wait till the end of the video. You can type it into the browser, and I'll also put that down below in the description for your convenience as well. You can just click that link when you're ready. Now, to put it mildly, when you're shopping for an investment property, it is very different than when you're shopping for your primary residence or your home that you're going to live in. So be sure when you're analyzing your income property that you're adjusting those expectations. You see, you don't have to live in the property, so if you don't like the color of the kitchen, no big deal. That shouldn't even be a part of your decision process. Or if you don't like the color of the house or how the curb appeal is, no big deal. That's not your concern. You're not going to live there. You're not buying this home with your lifestyle in mind. You're buying this home with your bottom line in mind. Is this property going to perform? Is it going to produce the revenue that you expect? Is it going to appreciate the way that you expect? These are very different ways of looking at properties. Now, before I break down the rest of these steps, if you're really serious about buying an income property, I want to know. And you can let me know by clicking the subscribe button. And by doing that, you'll be kept in touch with all these different money-making ideas when it comes to real estate investing. I release videos like this each and every week, frequently multiple times a week, and you don't want to miss it. I don't want you to miss it. I want you to get everything that real estate promises, and you can get that all by just staying in tune right here, and it's all free. Click the subscribe button. Number 3, decide what and where you want to buy. It's really important before you actually pull the trigger that you go into this process with some goals. You know what you're looking for, and you know what you want to have happen. For example, do you want to purchase a single family home, or do you want to purchase a multifamily home? Or is the low maintenance nature of purchasing a condominium, is that more up your alley? You can generally get more cash flow from a multifamily property, but generally speaking, with single family properties, you have more upside appreciation potential, especially in the hot real estate market that we're in right now. Now, most will say the geographical location of your property is important, and I tend to differ. Regardless of what type of property you choose and wherever that property is located, the ultimate performance of that property is going to depend more on the property management than anything else. So when thinking where to invest, that where should be strongly influenced by where you can find the best property management. You see, you can pick a really hot market with all the appropriate economic indicators that points towards a really nice producing asset. But if you've got bad property management there, I promise you it's going to be a really bad experience for you. A middle of the road market, and it's really going to be a great performing asset for you. So when you're looking at your income property and you know for sure that you're not going to be managing it yourself, I want you to do as much due diligence on the property manager as you do on the actual property. At the end of the day, the property manager is key. Now, number 4, you want to qualify for your financing. Now, if you plan on going in and paying cash for the property, probably no need to even pay attention here. But for most people, you're gonna have to figure out where that money is going to come from. And there are a number of different options for financing your real estate. I mean, you can just go down to the bank the nice traditional way, and if you've got the down payment and you've got the credit score and you can make that happen for yourself, that's how most people do it. There's nothing wrong with that. The second place you can find financing for your properties are via asset-based loans. And this is where a lender is going to look more at the asset than they are you, the borrower. They're going to determine whether or not they want to give you their money based on the performance that they think and the security that they think that property is going to provide. And then there's some alternative financing options available to you as well. I mean, in addition to traditional financing, that conventional financing we talked about in these asset-based loans, there's some other places you can look at. Now, this isn't an exhaustive list, but let me give you some of those ideas. And one of those things to consider would be a home equity line of credit. Can you pull out an equity line of credit on your primary residence and use that to purchase your investment property? Or do you already have an investment property that's got a bunch of equity in it? Can you get a home equity line of credit on that property to purchase your next one? This is a really great way to unlock idle money that's locked inside of your investments, particularly your primary residence. And a lot of people get a little bit, squeamish about that, thinking that, ooh, I'm taking out a piece of my home security. No, what you're really doing is you're taking the equity that is no longer working for you and you're removing it from a dead place and placing it in a live performing place. It might feel a little risky, a little uncomfortable, and if that's above your risk tolerance, then that's okay. You don't have to tap into it, but it is an idea to consider. And if you decide to move that direction, it's actually a very financially prudent thing to do, as it takes resources that you have that are just sitting there doing nothing for you, and it puts them to work. And that's one thing that you always want to check in on with your investments, meaning when you check in and invest your money, is it working as hard for you as you did for it? That money that's locked up inside of your house is sitting there chilling. It's already retired while you get up and go to work every day. So consider it. Then another place to look at are your qualified retirement accounts, like your 401k, or maybe you have an IRA, whatever that retirement account may look like, because there's plenty of scenarios where you can borrow from that to go out and buy real estate. And then you'll go ahead and you pay yourself back. And a lot of times when you're paying yourself back, that can also be tax deductible. So that can be a really good solution. Or, and hold on to your hats for this, you could just liquidate your 401k and buy your investment property. Now, I know a lot of people get really freaked out about that. I've done a lot of videos on why that. I think that's a really wise thing to do, but I get a lot of pushback, so it's okay. So if that's above your risk tolerance and that's just way too much for you, then don't do it. But consider this. You've got this money locked away that you can't touch until your retirement age. If you were to take that money out and place it into an income property that paid you right now, you could start benefiting from that money right now. Yeah, but Matt, what about the penalties and what about the tax implications? Totally true. Those are real and they are there and you're gonna have to deal with them. But really all you gotta do is just a math equation. Are you going to have this property long enough and can you purchase it soon enough before you actually have to retire and need that money to pay yourself back all of the penalties and the tax liabilities that would come with an early withdrawal like that? Again, it's just a math equation. If that's too much for you right now, this is not the time or the place, but it is something to consider. In fact, I've got a video on exactly how that plays out, and I detail the actual math of what that looks like so you can really make an educated decision as to whether that is a good decision for you or not. And I'll go ahead and I'll put the link to that video down below in the description too. Number 5. Go shopping. This is the fun part. Now that you know what you're looking for and you got your team in place, you've got your financing lined up, go out and pick the best income property you can find for yourself. But just remember, you're looking for an income producing asset. You're not looking for a home. So don't be too picky. You want to get this money to work as soon as possible. You want to start enjoying the benefits of the cash flow and all the wealth creation benefits that real estate provides. And now here we are at the final step, number 6. Decide whether you want to manage this thing or not. If you do, that's perfectly okay. In fact, for your first one, it's probably not such a bad idea to get a little bit of experience, a little bit of education under your belt. But I would say, as soon as you possibly can, go ahead and hire that property manager. It's not a very high-paying job, and it's not a really good use of your time. There's better things that you could be doing with your life, whether that's having fun with your friends and family or out looking for new deals. So that's all I got for you today. That's how you buy an income property. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.